Hey guys, today I want to talk about a collection of new lip products that I've gotten over the last couple of months. And they're things that have been advertised and talked about so much on social media that I really wanted to get a good handle on my feelings on each of them before I brought them to you. So I have 5 or 6 different lip products and all of them are drugstore except one. The last one is kind of something you can really only trust to get online from its website, but it's caught my curiosity and we'll get to that here shortly. But if you guys are interested in learning a little bit about how lip products change for us, how your application process can change a little bit, because as we get older, our estrogen goes down. So for anybody over 40, you might find that your lip products, your favorite lip products that have been no fail for you for 10, 20 years now, are performing a little differently. And that's because as estrogen declines, now stick with me if you're in your 20s here, this is going to matter to you someday. As your estrogen declines, the natural moisture in your actual lips starts to go down. Lips lose their bounce, their kind of puffiness, products cling to them differently. So there are a few different things along the way that you can do with lip products that I'll talk about to help, and it mostly can be helped with preparation. Putting on a nice lip balm while you're doing the rest of your face, letting that kind of sink in and then blotting it off before you apply a product over it. We can talk more about that here in a little bit. Let's get into some of the products that we're going to be talking about. I have multiple shades in everything except the last one. We're going to talk about the L'Oreal Hyaluron Tint Lip Serum. We're going to talk about the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lipsticks, the Maybelline Serum Lipsticks, the NYX Lip IV Hydrating Gloss, and a Besame lip product. Have you ever seen a bullet as beautiful as that? Look at... this was a splurge. I also wanted to mention that like a month or two ago, I did a video on the Wonderskin lip stain. And the color that I had picked, which was Lovely, was super clear on my lips. Like, it was just my lip color. So that was really disappointing. And I want you to know I did get another one. This is in Whimsical and I absolutely love this one. The staying power on it, really good. Not all day, but really good. And the stain itself is a nice soft pink. I can go into some of that again if you want, maybe here at the end, because I think everybody is here mostly for the newer stuff. So let's pledge to play with those at the end. Scout's Honor. I don't know how that works. First, let's talk about the L'Oreal Hyaluron Tint Lip Serum. I have 3 shades of that. I've got 635 Worth It, 680 Nude Espresso, and 521 Bordeaux Please. These run about $13.99. I'm just going to kind of stick with Amazon pricing because we can all have access to that. It might be cheaper at like Walmart or more expensive at an Ulta. That's around the price range you're going to pay for these. And they are a stain. Are they really long lasting though? No, nothing compared to the Wonderskin lip stain as far as how long this is going to last for you throughout the day, but they're truly comfortable. I'm just going to quickly show you what they look like on so you can decide whether or not this is something that would look nice on your lip. This is the Worth It shade. Something to note about these, that when you apply it, it kind of clings to the outline of my lip. So you really want to be careful. This is not something you can apply without a mirror. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. Do you see the way that the color applies around the lip line? If you are really in love with this, you can address that with thinner coats when you're applying it. There's a lot on the doe foot. I'm not arguing that, but it is just to show you that you really have to be careful when you're applying these. So in wiping it off, you can see the stain kind of collects in this area of my lips in particular. This is just my experience. Yours might be completely different. Maybe it'll be a more even application of stain. It does last a decent time. I would not say it's something that you're not going to have to think about again for the rest of the day by any means. It's something that you're going to want to check in on. Next, I'll show you the Nude Espresso. I was a little disappointed in this. It's got a bit more of an orangey undertone to it than I was hoping for, so this isn't necessarily my favorite of the shades that I've picked. Now's a good time to introduce a lip a lip remover. That would hurt. A lip color remover. Mine is from LA Colors. It's literally just called lip color remover. Actually, sorry, it's called See You Later. This is really great to have one of these on hand. It doesn't need to be a high-end one. There are high-end ones, but you can just go to Walmart and pick up this LA Colors version, and it does a great job of getting off the last little bits of stain. I wouldn't say completely. You'll see here what I mean. It's not completely gone, but it did a pretty good job. It does better than just wiping it with a tissue or even a wet wipe. And then finally, I'll show you Bordeaux Please. This one I think has the nicest color payoff, and it goes on a little bit more evenly. You know how sometimes with different colors, even the same product formula, the different colors can perform differently sometimes, and this one is my favorite probably. And these, yeah, it's still something that I'm going to need to pay attention to. After a couple hours, I'm going to be checking my lips. As far as comfort level goes, if I applied a couple of layers of this, I'd have more of that gloss finish, but it doesn't stay that way. It kind of dries down a little bit. Not super uncomfortable, certainly not matte. Ultimately, I think these are comfortable, but there's still something that I would want to have with me throughout the day. And really, anybody over the age of 40, like, you're really starting to come into your preference of comfort over appearance. Or when it comes to lip products, I'm going to add over longevity as well. Reapplication throughout the day of my lip product is just more realistic, being completely honest with you, than something that's going to give me 12-hour wear. We all carry products with us anyway. At least I know I do. I think most of you guys probably do as well. So it's not that big a deal to have your color of the day that you're going to wear in your purse with you anyway, and have it on hand for touch-ups. A little tip for you is that when you're using a traditional bullet style lipstick product, go in with a couple of thin layers of it rather than gooping on one big really solid layer thinking this is going to make it last for longer because I put a lot on. Go in with lighter layers and you'll find that that lasts a little bit longer throughout the day for you. So when I'm using a lip color remover like that, I'll just kind of take the bulk of it off with a wet wipe first and then go in and sort of fine tune, because if I don't take the bulk of it off first with a tissue or a wet wipe, it's hard for this remover product to get to the skin and do what it's there to do. You can also leave that sit on your lips here for a couple of seconds. That might help loosen things up a little bit. The other thing that I like about using something like this is that I feel like it's gentler on your lips than just constantly going back in with a wet wipe and rubbing, because I can tell you by the end of this video, my lips are going to be so tender. Have you ever gone through your lipstick drawer and really given it a good thinning out, and you try them on as you're doing it to see, do I really want to get rid of this one or not? And like by the end of it, your lips feel like they're gonna fall off. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So this is just going over the stains for the L'Oreal with a wet wipe. And you can see it is leaving a little bit of color. That color is going to simmer down as time passes. This does not make it through a meal, I can tell you that right now. Next, let's get into these e.l.f. Glow Reviver Slip Sticks. I have 2 of them. These are about $10 each or so. Again, with the Amazon pricing, I have the shade Cherry on top and Rose Latte. Just a quick swatch of those. Look at how pretty that looks in the tube. I was hoping this was going to be kind of one of those no-brainer red shades. It's not. It is something that's easy to apply without having a mirror. So it's more of a balm-like finish. It has a nice shiny effect on your lip. To me, that is definitely more pink than red. And I'll show you here what this one looks like on the lips in a second, but let me swatch the other shade for you as well. One thing that's really nice about these, excuse me, you hear that magnet close? Okay, e.l.f. This is Rose Latte. Show you what that looks like in a swatch. Show you what this looks like on while I have this one open. This is probably one of the most comfortable newer lip products that I've purchased, as far as feeling like it's nourishing, like it's actually doing something with the lips. Now, I don't know if this says that it has something special in it. Glides on smooth, irresistible slip, buildable color. Let's see if we can build this color a little bit more. This is kind of like a peachy rose sort of shade. I do think it builds up a little bit. As you're building it, you got to be a little bit more careful, but if you just want like a sheer quick little bit of a tint lip balm type product, these are really nice for that. I don't really notice much of a scent for that, and I don't think I mentioned this with the L'Oreal ones. I feel like all those long wear lip stain lipstick type products that we've seen over the years have sort of that same scent to them, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but it doesn't stick around on your lips. But these are pretty unscented, I would say. Let me show you what the cherry on top looks like going on. Okay, cherry on top. This one, I just don't like the color of it on me. I don't think this is a bad product. It's not the red I was hoping for. It just feels a little more like cherry slushy or like a cherry snow cone, and you really went to town on it. This is what your lips would be stained like afterwards. All of them have that little magnetic closure, fairly easy to apply, not even be looking in a mirror. Comfortable. You are going to have to reapply it throughout the day. It's not going to last a long time, but when it feels this nice going on, reapplication throughout the day is not a negative to me. It's part of the enjoyment of the process of using the product you've already spent money on. So go touch up your lips. Did I say those run about $10? The next thing I want to talk about is the NYX Lip Ivy. I have 5 of them, and I want to say that NYX has, I believe, a hydrating gloss stain, and these are the hydrating gloss serum. I think when I bought these, I thought I was buying the stain because the packaging looks really similar. So I have the shade Cranberry Splash. This was a special one that came out around Christmas. You probably can still find it online. Gumdrop Gloss, the Bubblegum Burst shade. Hydra Honey, this is my favorite, and I find that this does not look like on the lips what it does in the tube. This is a great nude gloss right there. Mocha Me Wet. Oh shit, I just poured that out. Oh my god, how did that happen? Well, maybe don't turn them upside down. And then the last one I have is the Drippin' in Rose. And this one, no, it was the Hydra Honey I think I bought 2 of because I found that I wanted one in my purse to keep all the time, and I had one in my vanity as well. These are fairly decent lasting, but they're a gloss. They're definitely not transfer proof. It's gonna show up on your glass or your boo if you give kisses while you're wearing that. It does stay nice and glossy for a while. Okay, so let me show you what these look like going on. We'll start with Cranberry Splash. This is another one that you cannot apply without a mirror. At least I should say that is about this shade. I feel like anytime you're using a darker shade lip product, no matter what it is, you're gonna wanna use a mirror anyway. So this is Cranberry Splash. It's a beautiful deep red. It goes on nice and smooth. I have no issue with the application of this at all. Other than that, I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. Here's something for you to take into consideration if you've bought a lip product and it just doesn't work for you and you don't like it. Rather than just throw it out and waste that money, try a couple of different things. One thing I like to do with these is just take a tissue, and if I feel like this is too much, we need to turn the volume down a little bit. That is a beautiful stain. It took off a lot. I feel like this is something that I would be comfortable going out the door in. Is it more maintenance for you throughout the day with touch-ups? You're gonna have to make sure you have access to a tissue. Yeah, but if you already have the product, you've already spent the money on it, why not try to make it work? The other thing that you can do, if like maybe something that you've bought is too matte, is go over it with a lip gloss or a lip balm. This is the Lottie London Oil Slick Lip Gloss. It's a clear gloss. Now this balm that I'm putting this over is already pretty shiny anyway, but even just adding a little bit of that to it changes it again. It's that muted tone of that cranberry color, but with a little bit of shine into it. And it's also a little bit more comfortable. If you have a gloss that has a sparkle in it, that's another option to go over something with, or you can even layer different lipsticks. It's science. Welcome to the lab. Use more remover. See how that's basically stained my lips? But that's also 6 products later that I've been layering on here, so. Okay, now let me show you the bubble gum. This is the one I'm gonna do now. This is definitely more of a pink shade. Now this is going on a little bit more opaque than it normally would because my lips are sort of stained underneath from all the buildup of all these products, and even though I've been using that remover, it's not going to be 100%. So take that into account. It's a little bit more of that bubblegum pink that this swatch reflects. I do really like it, but I don't find myself reaching for it. It's not really my favorite shade. I am definitely more into that Hydra Honey right there, which is going to look, I'm going to show you that one next. It looks so much better than even its swatches. It kind of looks like when you're putting it on, like it's going on brown, but once you get it spread out, it's actually this beautiful kind of nude mauve-y type shade. This is the shade that I reach for when I don't know what color to wear, what's going to complement what else I have going on. Eye makeup wise or clothing wise, if I want to try to coordinate, I'm very much into that. This is the one I'm reaching for because it's like a true nude. It's one of the best nude ones out there. This next one here is Drippin' in Rose, and this one I felt like did not really reflect the color I was hoping it was going to. So not really matching what it shows up like in the tube, which I know is super frustrating. So I wanted to be able to show you this too. This is the swatch for it. Now, just like with all these others, it's going on over layers and layers of stains. So this isn't exactly a true reflection, just kind of matching it up to what you're seeing in the tube. Looks like it should be a little bit more pink, and it's actually gone on a little more brown. This isn't a shade I would necessarily recommend because I feel like it plays you a little bit on what it's going to end up looking like. Some of this remover on here working. Okay, and then finally Mocha Me Wet, which is the one that you literally watch me pour all over my desk here. This one is okay. But if you're debating on this one versus like the Hydra Honey or something you want to have a little bit more of a nude finish, here's the tube next to the actual, this is the swatch for it right here. Looking pretty brown right now. I feel like it doesn't apply super evenly. It's just not my favorite shade. But these are super comfortable lip glosses. They do last for a little while, and you're seeing how much that stain is building up. Let me go over just the swatches that I did with the tissue. And that is just the gloss. I feel like with other lip product try-on videos I've done and not used an actual lip color remover, my lips are in a lot worse shape at this point, so that is definitely something worthwhile. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about is the new Maybelline lip serum or Maybelline serum lipsticks. Some of them are in matte shades and some of them are in a satin, and I have one of each. This one is Upstate, it's shade 101. Do a little swatch of that for you. These are both really pretty. So that's Upstate, and this one is Hold the Door, and this one is the matte. These go on pretty comfortably, even the matte one. Maybelline is not really a brand that I would drift towards for lipsticks for the most part, primarily because of the scent. Like those and the Revlon lipsticks have that kind of old school sort of drugstore type fragrance to them. It's just not my favorite, but let me show you what these look like going on. They're super comfortable. It doesn't settle into like fine lines. This is the satin one in the shade Upstate 101. There is just something about a bullet style lipstick these days when we're so bombarded with all these other options that are out there that just feels nice and classic going on, and they're comfortable. I don't mind reapplying something like this throughout the day a couple of times when it feels as good going on as it does. Okay, let me show you what the matte one, Hold the Door, looks like. This is probably one of the more comfortable matte lip products that I've tried. That just smoothed on so quickly, you wouldn't even be able to convince me that that isn't matte if I didn't read it on the packaging. Boom, that's it. Now, this isn't something that I would be uncomfortable with wearing throughout the day. This is the sort of matte where the formula is actually soft and malleable. Is that the word I'm thinking of? It moves gently around on the lips in a comfortable manner. So this isn't something that I would avoid, whereas with most matte lipsticks, I'm like, we stopped doing that like 10, 20 years ago. Because like I said earlier, I am prioritizing comfort at this age in my lip products and in anything in life. I am prioritizing comfort, and matte does not equal comfort. But if you're curious about the matte finish and you're really tempted to try one anyway, this Maybelline one is a good way to go and give it a shot, and something that isn't necessarily going to break the bank. They're about $9.99 each for both the satin and the matte one. I think this is worth it. And if I didn't already say, as far as fragrance goes, these have this kind of like a nice vanilla sweet fragrance to it. You aren't tasting it really unless you're licking your lips. It is, okay, you are tasting it a little bit. Here I am not using lipstick very often at all in my life, and this, when I do these, I get into my collection and I start playing around with them. I'm like, why am I not doing that more often? They're so fun. It can really change up a whole look. Let's talk Besame. I started seeing some targeted ads towards me on social media for Besame brand, and I absolutely fell in love with the packaging. Their sort of vintage inspired packaging, sort of Hollywood era golden style is speaking to me. I love it so much. I think they are I think their most popular products is definitely the lipsticks, but they do have a small assortment of other things that they offer. But this is what was really speaking to me. Mine I got in the shade Dusty Rose, and this is probably the prettiest lipstick I own. It is just the most beautiful color. It has an interesting shape, and it's shaped like that on purpose because they want you to kind of go around and outline a little bit first, sort of using the edge as a liner. It is so pretty, you guys. And then you're supposed to take a tissue, dab it, and go over with another layer. If you're happy with that look, then you can just leave it at that, but I am going to dab it one more time. Besame Dusty Rose. I feel like maybe it's not gone on as clean just because of the war I've put my lips through now here with all these different kinds going on and inadequate lip prep for this type of lip product, but it is so comfortable, so richly pigmented. Feels like you definitely a luxury element when you're applying this. It's long lasting, it's creamy, it's comfortable. I think these are worth it if you find a color that you like. They had so many beautiful shades. It was hard for me to narrow it down, but here's the problem. It's pricey. These are $36 each. Now, sometimes you can catch it on sale and find it maybe like in the $25 to $30 range. You gotta really be interested. So that's something to take in consideration. Love this. Am going to treasure it and continue to use it, but I need to clean up my lips and do some proper prep before I'm going to go out the door with it on today, because I have put them through it. They do not appreciate it. But let's try one final thing here. One more, just one more. If you're still here, thank you so much. Put like a lip emoji or something down below so I know you made it almost all the way to the end with me, and I really appreciate knowing you did. Okay, so we made it to the end, and I did say that I would show you the other Wonderskin lip shade that I got. This is the Stain. This is the one I had before. It was almost exactly like my lip color, and that was disappointing. Yes, it goes on blue. You let that dry, and then you wipe it off. And we'll put on the other side of it Whimsical. This is the one I bought because you guys yelled at me. You were right. We're gonna give those about 30 seconds here, let them dry, and then you'll see the difference that I'm talking about. Okay, so hopefully it's been about 30 seconds here for you. So this was lovely. This is one I had first. It is super pale, but it is pretty. And then this is Whimsical, the one I got because you guys were mean to me. Definitely a difference. And this is something that I reach for very regularly. Like it, recommend it. If you have an opportunity to play around with some of them at Sephora, you absolutely can, but they don't carry all the shades, so that's super disappointing. Whimsical is my preferred one. Lovely if you don't have any color to your lips at all and you want to add just like a little bit of normal flesh tone. Okay. So from what I've tried today, my favorite thing I think to apply in general is the NYX Hydrating Gloss Serum. The NYX Lip IB is really nice. I did not expect to like this as much as I did. That's why I own 5 different shades of it. I use this regularly. It's something that's worth looking at if you want something that's going to give you a little bit of color, but if you're not interested in the stain and stay away from it, then I would recommend the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Slip Sticks. Those are something that aren't going to leave really a whole lot of color, and you can kind of build up the shade a little bit to be a little bit more intense if that's something that you're interested in. The best thing about those is that you can apply that without having to look into a mirror, and that comes in super handy. Just remember, the lip prep is super important. If you're going to do a color that has some drama to it, something that's particularly dark, even something that's particularly light, if you have lines in your lips, it's going to sink into that. So your lip prep is even more important at that point. You want to make sure you have a balm on regularly. Take care of your lips. Sleep with a balm, like a Lip Sleeping Max. Trader Joe's has a wonderful one. It's their vanilla flavor that is just out of this world. I think it beats any of the more expensive formulas. And if your lips are dry and textured and you're not willing to put in that regular work of applying a balm or preparing your lips ahead of time as you're getting ready to make your lip skin moisturized enough to receive that product, then that's just not the one for you, and you want to stick towards something simpler like the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Slip Stick thing that isn't necessarily complicated for you. It's going to give you a sheer wash of color and still be comfortable throughout the day. Okay, so that's it, guys. I have to go and wash all of this off. So hope you enjoyed getting into a couple of new lip products and playing around with them a little bit. If you have questions or comments about the video, I would love to see it down below. And which one of these are you most interested in trying or playing around with? And what do you base your decision making on when you're in the store and there's a slew of new lip products to try? Do you even bother? Are you just happy with what's been in your purse for 20 years? Because if that's the case, I get that too. And solidarity, sister. Hope you guys have a really great rest of your day. Stick around for the next video coming up. I don't know when, but we'll see you in that one. Like and subscribe. Bye.